Great. Hi, my name is Anika Spencer, and this is our evening yoga flow. Today we're going to be working on specifically the mobility of the ankles and calves, giving this area a little bit of love. Sometimes as we look at a small area like this, and even an area that maybe doesn't get as much attention in the body as some of the bigger primary structures, it can be nice to motivate yourself by understanding that a lot of what happens above the ankles and calves is affected by its mobility. So while we might be working a little bit lower, we also start to see some results when it comes to things like the depths of our squats or the ability of us to move around, to get up and off the floor easily, because we've tended to this specific area of the body. So to start, come on into child's pose. Take the tops of your feet to press, so this will be an ankle stretch, and lower your hips back in towards your heels. If this is already really intense on your knees or on your ankles, you can place a prop underneath your hips, or roll a blanket and place it right in the creases of your knees. And if you don't have a blanket, you can also use an extra or this yoga mat. Take your arms, reach them out to forward, nice and long. Relax your forehead heavy down and into the floor. I like knees wide. You might like knees closed. And for now, just feel your breath. Notice your natural breath, its rhythm. And if you haven't already, slow the breath down. Let the breath come in deep and steady until you're all the way full. Then slowly send your breath back out until you're all the way to empty. Create a small friction like the edges of the throat or dragging along the edges of the breath. Once the breath is steady, come forward onto hands and knees, tabletop position. Slide your knees so that they're right underneath your hips. On your inhale, tip the tail up, reach your ribs forward. As you exhale, pull the belly back and in, round your spine. Inhale as you arch and broaden the tops of your shoulders intentionally. Exhale as you round. Inhale, tip the tail up. Maybe you look up, involving the neck. Exhale, hug the chin towards the chest and spread the scapula apart on the back. Come right back through neutral. Stay really sturdy in your core. Then stretch your right foot backwards towards the wall behind you. Then circle the ankle, finding your full range of motion, that side to side, lengthening through the toe, flexing the foot. Then switch directions and circle that the opposite way. And if you want to test yourself, keep circling, but stretch your left hand forward. Take just one more breath. Release the hand down, release the knee down. Back to cat-cow. Inhale, tail tips up, chest reaches forward. Exhale, draw the abdomen in as you round. Inhale as you arch your spine. Exhale as you round the spine. One more time. Inhale. Exhale as you round. Come right back through the middle. Try the opposite side, stretching the left heel back. Note if you really involve the back position. Instead, keep your abdomen in, spine long. And as you lift the heel, you might feel that sensation in the back of the hamstring. Find those circles. Full range of motion, really tending to this joint of the ankle and waking up the muscles that support it. And switch directions, circle the foot the opposite way, and if you want to add on, stretch your right hand forward. Balance might be tricky when the foot is in motion. And take that last breath. Great, release your hand down, release your knee down. Then widen the knees again, sink your hips back towards the heels for child's pose. Take your hands, walk them all the way over towards the right side of your mat, testing out that left side of the waist. Keep your outer left hip reaching back towards your heel. And if you want more, crawl those left fingers forward and wrap your outer left shoulder out and down towards the floor. Take a big breath into the left side of your waist. And feel that area deflate. On your inhale, look towards your hands. And when you exhale, walk your hands over to the left side, feeling that stretch through the right. Keep your right hip rooting back towards your right inner heel. And if you want more, crawl those right fingers farther away. Feel your outer right shoulder wrap out and down. That might stimulate some extra in the lat. On that in-breath, fill the right side of your waist. As you exhale, move into that surrender. On your inhale, look towards the hands. As you exhale, walk the hands back forward and place your knees back underneath your hips. Spread the fingers of the hands a lot, pressing down into all 5 fingers of the hand. Then think of broadening the tops of your shoulders intentionally, making more space between the bottom of your ears and the tops of your shoulders. Take a little corkscrew of external rotation, like you're going to hug the insides of the elbows towards one another or point your elbows towards your legs. Then curl your toes under and sit your hips back towards the heels. Press away from the floor, but keep that broadening of the top of the collarbones. Then elevate your hips back to high, downward facing dog. Feel free to bend the knees some or a lot. Great time to pedal the heels side to side. Once the ankles are fairly even, come right back through the middle and take the steps you need to bring your feet forward to meet your hands. Once you come to the top of your mat, extend the spine. Find a halfway lift. Hands can be at the shins, maybe they're on the floor on blocks. As you exhale, bow back into your legs and fold. Press into the earth with your feet. Inhale, circle the arms all the way up as you stretch tall. As you exhale, guide the hands down and into your heart. Let the tops of your shoulders relax and press into both sides of your feet. So you're anchoring into the big toe side and anchoring into the pinky toe side simultaneously. See if you can distribute the weight in between the ball mount and the heel relatively equally. Keep that as you move through your sun salutation. Inhale, reaching up as you press down into the feet. As you exhale, bow forward, relaxing your neck as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift. It might feel like your toes are widening apart. As you exhale, plant your palms and shift it back to plank. Lowering all the way to the belly or halfway down, chaturanga. Then press away from the mat, upward facing dog or cobra. Elevate the hips back to high, downward facing dog. Still finding that steady shoulder position. Still listening for the sound of the breath, even creating that sound. Lift the heels, bend the knees, and take as many steps as you need to walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Feet placed right underneath your hips as you inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, bow back in. Circle all the way up, cores on as you lift. And guide your hands down to your heart. Again, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bow forward, abdomen draws back. On your inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, step back. Lowering halfway towards the earth, keep your neck nice and long. Upward facing dog or cobra, press into the floor to widen the tops of your shoulders. As you exhale, downward facing dog, hips go back to high. Lift your heels, bend the knees, take that journey forward to the top of your mat. On an inhale, halfway lift. As an exhale, bow forward. Circle the arms up, stretch tall, palms can connect above. Then guide your hands down and into your heart. Take a cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. As you exhale, send it out your mouth. On your inhale, circle the arms up. As you exhale, bow into your legs. On your inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, step back with your left foot into a low lunge. Left hand stays on the floor or even on a block. Take your right hand and stretch it up towards the ceiling, moving this into a twist. Fire up your back thigh, hug in both outer hips, and center your right knee right over your right ankle. Some of us, it likes to hug in. Some of us, it likes to swing wide. Good. Release that hand down and towards the earth. Blocks are handy here. And if you have books or even a hand on the floor, that's great. We'll straighten out that front right leg. If you want a small bend to the knee here, that's great. Then we'll come between those two places. As you inhale, bend forward into your front knee. As you exhale, straighten out that front leg. Inhale, bend into your front knee. As you exhale, straighten out the front leg. Last one, bend into the front knee. Exhale, straighten out the thigh. Rebend forward into that front leg. Then take your back foot and curl the toes under so you're now pressing into the top of the foot. This will be an ankle stretch. This is pretty uncomfortable for most of us. I like blocks underneath the hands. Keep hugging your outer right hip back. And relax any shoulder tension that you may have accumulated. Good. We'll release it. Take your hands back to the floor and curl your back toes under. Then use the pull of your right heel to bring your back foot forward to meet your front. Bow in and fold. On your inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, bow into your legs. Press into the earth, circle the arms up. Then guide your hands to your heart. Reach up again, lengthen the waistline as you lift. As you exhale, bow forward to your legs. Inhale for your halfway lift. As you exhale, step back with your right foot. Right hand might be on a block, you choose. Take that left hand up towards the ceiling for a twist. Then check in with your front knee. If it swings wide, you're gonna hug it in and over the ankle. If it hugs in, you're gonna move it out and over the ankle. And if you can, find a subtle external rotation. It's like you're isometrically trying to widen the knee out to the side, but we're not shifting out of that ankle position. It's an energetic movement, activation of the outer hip. Find your last breath. Release your left hand back down towards the earth. I love blocks here if you have them with you. Sometimes I use books at home. Straighten out through that front left leg. And notice the body you're living in. And some of us really lock out the knee, especially if there's lots of flexibility there. And if that's the case, you'll create a small bend. If you're already fairly bent, there's a good chance that maybe there's some rounding happening in the spine, and that means you'll stretch the rib cage further away from the legs. And if that means the hands are higher, that's great. Pulsing between those places. As you inhale, bend into the front knee. As you exhale, straighten out the front leg. Inhale, rebend into the front knee. And straighten out that front leg. Couple more with your breath. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Rebend into the front knee, and if you need to set the knee down to create this, great. You're gonna flip to the top of your back right foot and then straighten out the leg. It can be really nice to use some of the support of the blocks or the hands on the earth, but we're still melting the front of that back ankle towards the floor. Or even witnessing if this is really out of your wheelhouse of comfort. Is there one side or the other that participates a little better? Does the ankle or the heel roll to one side or the other? We'll take this last breath. Good. We'll release it. Curl the toes under if you're not already there. Then use the pull of your left heel to bring your back foot forward, fold forward to the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow back in. Circle the arms up, stretch tall. We'll connect the hands above the head. Then guide your hands into your heart. Point the toes out to wide some. You can widen out this space. And if you want to sit onto a block, that's great. But we'll sink down into Malasana squat, keeping those heels planted if that's available to you. Yeah, then give yourself a little encouragement by keeping the heels down. And this is for those of us that do have heels down, but if they are, you'll come forward into the weightedness of the front of the foot. Yeah. And if you're curious, bring that weight now back to the heels and see if you can flex the feet away from the floor. Yeah, so that ball mound's now gonna lift. And then release. Lift your hips back up, forward fold. On your inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow back into your legs. Circle the arms up, stretch to tall, palms connect above the head. Then bring your hands to your heart. On your inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, bow it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back with your left foot. On your inhale, reach the right hand up, turn this into a twist. As you exhale, release the right hand back down. On your inhale, straighten out that front right leg. As you exhale, rebend into the knee. On an inhale, straighten out the front leg. As you exhale, rebend into the knee. Once more, inhale. Then rebend into the knee. This time, as you straighten out the front leg, take your front toes and curl them back in towards your face. Create a small bend to the knee, and imagine you're dragging that front heel backwards and towards you. This will emphasize that back line of the calf a little more, and you'll notice the knee bend can really change the experience. While you're here, keep holding in the waistline. Keep listening for the sound of your breath, and you might feel like you're lifting the ribs away from the hips. And you're welcome to stay here, and we'll work with a few options. One is to return the foot to the floor and step that back foot in a little closer for balance. Then turn this into your revolve triangle. Reach the right hand up as you move that outer right hip back. If that's the posture for you, great. It's a challenging one. Different opportunity. Come towards standing splits and float up the back leg. And if you're having one of those more feisty days, you might try to plant your hands to the floor and kick your right heel to the glute a few times, practicing those handstand kick-ups. Take one more breath wherever you are. Then release the hand down if you're twisted and step all the way back to lunge, coming out of that handstand kick-up. And once we're in lunge, we have another way to play. And if what's best for you is to use the blocks, great. Think of that heel pull and use that to bring your back toes forward to tap. Then as you exhale, step it back. You can stay just like that. Maybe this time you don't use the blocks. Use the pull of your right heel to bring your back toes forward. As you exhale, step it back. Same option is available to you, or if you want to test your range of motion, take that left heel all the way forward this time. Then as you exhale, step it back. Inhale, heel can come forward or toes tap, then step it back. Last time, toes either tap forward or heel comes forward. Then as you exhale, step it back. Good. Step both feet forward, bow forward, forward fold. On your inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow into your legs. Circle the arms up, stretch all the way to tall. Then guide your hands into your heart. Inhale, arms reach. As you exhale, bow in. Inhale for that halfway lift. Exhale to step back with your right foot. Take a twist. Right hand stays rooted, left hand stretches up. As you exhale, release that hand to the floor or block. On your inhale, straighten out your front left leg. As you exhale, rebend. Inhale, straighten out that left leg. As you exhale, rebend. Inhale, straighten out the leg. As you exhale, rebend. Straighten out that front leg and pause. This time, curl the toes to look back and towards the face. And a small bend to the knee can be really helpful. And even if you have the flexibility to lift the toes back and towards you, bending the knee can create a new experience. We have two different muscles there in the back of the calf, and one is more responsive to the bent knee. Feel like your ribs are moving away and out of the hips. Then balancing out the two sides, depending on which variation you took on the opposite side, back foot might step in as you turn this into your revolved triangle, squaring the hips, revolving the spine, and stretching that outer line of the leg. That other option is to come towards standing splits and use this as a chance to play with your handstand, kicking the left heel towards the glute. If you have a moment's pause in the air, that's great. We have just 1 or 2 more breaths. Option to release, coming out of that handstand kick up and prep, rebending into your front knee. If you want to keep the blocks in play, you certainly can, but use that left heel. So we're activating the left glute to bring the back toes forward to tap. Staying low the whole time, then step it back. Use the drag of your left heel to bring the back right toes back, then step it back. If you want to add on, we'll send the right heel all the way forward, fingers on the floor most likely. Then as you exhale, send that foot all the way back. Good. Toes can come forward, sometimes block, create more space. As you exhale, step it back. Really experimenting with what's possible that you have control over, this range of motion. Then step it back. Step both feet forward, bow forward, forward fold. On your inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, bow back in. Circle the arms all the way up. We'll stretch tall. Then guide your hands into your heart. Take your left foot, step it out to wide and press into the big toe side, that inside. Then imagine melting the inner ankle towards the floor, so inner ankle stretch. Strong quad while you're here. Sometimes we get the slack from the upper leg, and instead we're looking at this into the ankle by isolating into the strength of what's above. If you're holding in the breath or in the shoulders, now's a great time to relax. Find that rhythm of breath. Great. Bring the foot back to the earth. Try the opposite side. Big toe side of that right foot. Inner ankle starts to melt towards the floor. Notice if that's a collapsing of the hip or the inner leg, and you'll stay sturdy in your outer left hip and strong in the quadricep of that right leg. Feel the quad on, but think of relaxing the inner ankle towards the floor. And then take one more breath. And then release, come back to stand at the top of your mat. Same flow as before. This time we'll just enjoy it with the breath. On your inhale, stretch the arms up. As you exhale, bow to the thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back with your left foot. Inhale, right hand reaches up for a twist. Exhale, lower that hand towards the floor on the blocks. 3 times. Inhale, straighten out that front thigh. Exhale, rebend. Inhale, straighten out the front thigh. Exhale, rebend. Inhale, straighten out the leg. Exhale, rebend. Option to take your revolved triangle, that's 1. Or come back forward into those handstand kick-ups. We'll take 3 breaths. And if what you find in your handstand is that you linger in the top, finding that moment of pause, great. Definitely requires a little core strength. And we'll step it all the way back to lunge, coming out of the handstand or coming out of the twist back to the bend. Blocks are handy. 3 times. We'll use the pull of the heel to bring the back foot forward. As you exhale, step back. Use the pull of the heel to bring the back foot forward. Then as you exhale, step it back. Last time, heel comes forward, inhale. Exhale, step back. Bring both feet forward to the front of your mat. Fold forward, forward fold. On your inhale, extend the spine. As you exhale, bow to the legs. Circle the arms up, stretch tall. And gather the hands to the heart. Other side, inhale. Exhale, bow in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back with the right foot. Inhale, left hand rises as you rotate your spine. Exhale, release the hand to the floor. 3 times. Inhale, straighten out the front leg. Exhale, rebend into the front knee. Inhale, extend the leg. Exhale, bend again. Last one, inhale. Exhale, rebend. Straighten out the leg and find your revolved triangle for 3 breaths, or come back forward into the front foot, lifting one thigh, kicking that left heel to the glute. Gaze is normally right in between the hands. You have your last breath, then step it back. Release the twist, come back forward, knee bent, lunge. On your inhale, take that right foot forward, hips are still low. As you exhale, step it back. Use the pull of your left heel, so glute activation to bring the right foot forward. Then as you exhale, step it all the way back. Last one, heel comes forward. Exhale, heel steps back. Both feet come forward to the top of your mat, forward fold. On your inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow back into your legs. Circle the arms up, stretch to tall. Then place your hands lightly on the back of your hips. Arch the spine, lifting away. Feel that tug of length on the front line after all that forward fold. If the neck is sensitive, you can keep that gaze straight ahead. Come all the way back to tall. Relax your hands down by your sides. And if you're not already there, close your eyes. See if you can close the eyes lightly. No need to squeeze them shut or to crinkle the corners. And relax the jaw. Relax the shoulders. Relax the weight of your arms down towards the floor. And let all of that weight drop down and into your feet. Feel your feet anchoring into the ground. And imagine pressing into the ground like you're going to rise out of the earth and lift from the feet all the way up through the back top of your head. Note how the feet are weighted. Is there weight in both the ball mound and the heel? Almost like it's 50-50 or small fluctuations in your balance. Note that weightedness to the inside of the foot, the big toe side, the inner heel, the inner ball mound. And the pinky toe side, the outer heel, that outside of the ball mound. And if you're ready, add an extra layer, which is almost like you're spreading your feet into the floor and corkscrewing them into the earth. And that can create a small external turn of the knees. Perhaps an awakening of the inner legs or the outer hips. Yeah, feeling this starting from the ground, starting from the ankles, starting from the feet. And on your inhale, stretch the arms up. As you exhale, sink all the way down to the earth. And that might mean keeping your heels on the floor and noticing how long that's possible before you sit yourself all the way down to the earth. You might have lasted longer after trying all of the calf work. Slowly recline all the way down and onto your back. Either supported bridge if you have a block or a set of books you've been using, or just a classic bridge is also an option. Classic heels will stay pretty close towards the glutes. Press into the floor, root down into the backs of the arms, then lift your hips up, and this can be a hold. If you have that support available, take your block, and I like medium height or even lowest height, and bring that support into play. If you have the support, now's a great time to extend one leg at a time, really keeping the lower abdomen drawing in, so we're still feeling that length in the front of the hip creases. Every time we have a heavy forward folding class, you definitely want to tend to that front line. If you've extended one leg, switch it out, try the other. And if you're merely lifting without the support of anything beneath you, you'll keep both feet on the floor rather than aiming to extend a leg. You might even come back out of your bridge, then lift back up a second time. Beautiful. Both feet come to the earth. Lift the hips up and away from the block and lower your hips all the way down and towards the mat. Take your knees so that they're pretty wide. Feet are wide on the mat or even off the mat. Then drop your knees all the way over towards the right side of your mat. Flex both ankles and bring your right ankle on top of your left knee, pinning that inside of the left knee towards the floor. A lot of times we can create stability in the knee, or at least more stability, by emphasizing the feet. So we have this ankle position as a part of what we're doing right now. And let that go. Check out the other side. Knees point towards the ceiling. Drop the knees over and towards the left. Flex the left ankle, flex the right ankle, and then we'll place the left ankle on top of the right knee. Holding in the abdomen so that this is more about the hip and a little bit about the quad, even some internal rotation of the hip. Great, then point the knees back towards the ceiling. Extend the legs nice and long, setting up for your Shavasana. Feel where the back of your calves connect to the earth, and imagine that these calf muscles are like heavy bags of sand melting into the floor. Weighted, heavy, relaxed. Perhaps you imagine that there is a hydration, a viscosity to the tissue. Feeling that aftermath of use. And sensing lower into the ankles. Observing their fluidity or their heat, their warmth. perhaps their freedom of movement or the air crossing the skin of this area. Growing sensitive to the sensations on top or at the bottom of your feet. And feeling the sensations of each toe one at a time. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Then send it out your mouth. Twice more, just like that. Deep breath in and out. Last time, all the way in. Hold it at the top. And all the way out. Reach one arm up and overhead. Shift onto one side. Then press away from the floor. Come all the way up and into a seat. Touch your hands lightly in front of your chest. And bowing into the practice to your own efforts, I bow to you. Namaste. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me today. Great job. Please follow us at DRVN Online here on the YouTube channel for more classes, more fitness, more burn. It's a great place to be. Also, please reach out to us over email if you'd like to book a consult with us one-on-one. We'd love to hear from you.